Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Firda Khoirunnisa. Now I'm going to present the analysis about the comparison between the Scarlet film to its original book. Here is a brief introduction to both of the works. On the left side, we can see the original book that is written by Nathaniel Hawthorne in 1850, where the story focuses on a woman named Hester Prynne that is convicted as a sinner with Arthur Dimmesdale, resulting in her having a baby named Pearl. Afterwards, she undergoes the punishment being judged by this Puritan society. And for the film version on the right side, where it was released in 1995, the story within the film is pretty similar to the book. However, due to this claim of being a free adaptation, this work, directed by Roland Jove, presents many differences to be criticized. In my analysis, the film version using Chetham's theory tends to be what is described as showing excessive amounts of unnecessary additions that make a big difference with its book version. However, despite this visual additioning, I noticed that it also doesn't include the details written in the narrative, and it instead just presents, not asserts, what is contained in the narrative. Both acts, of course, in my opinion, will affect some literary devices on the adaptation to be changed. First literary device that I noticed is changed from the original version is the narrative sequence. The narrative sequence is disturbed by the process of adapting here. In the film, the story starts long way back when Hester is not even involved in the relationship with Arthur yet. Meanwhile, the book version starts with Hester just getting out of the prison, indicating that there will be some hidden relationship that will go on until the end of the story, as the Arthur's presence is questioned a lot. And with this addition of visual presentation that is originally not included in the book, in my opinion, this shows its determination on adapting the original work, as it also shifts the focus on the Hester's life to the love story between Hester and Arthur. Next, the unexpected appearance of Pearl in the beginning of the story as the narrator, in my opinion, double breaks the flexibility of viewing the film itself. Chapman once said that the position of the camera being fixed limits the point of view to view the film. But in this case, it is even aided by using Pearl's point of view. So the range of the audience in viewing the film becomes much more narrower. They will not get an experience of getting a wider point of view in viewing the film. And here, next is about the appearance of Indians that frequently pops related to this social setting. In the film, the connectivity between the Puritans and Indians is very close, that they are often involved in a clash between each other, and it eventually will end up in a warfare. It even adds one character named Metacoma to be the intermediary between them. Meanwhile, in the book, the relationship between these two is rarely mentioned, with this fact of the additioning visual, the contradictions, the contradicted social setting of the colonizer and the colonized is much highlighted here, unlike in its book. Then this domination may blur others' appearance that is supposed to be presented same as in the book. Now, with all of those concealing displays that is overwhelming to be shown in such a short period, it usually leads to other details from the book not being asserted. It is just presented one again. Like we can see in this scene that is supposed to be the novel exposition where Hester about to get judged in the public. It is just separated into different split. When the first scene is when she is walking out from the prison, and the second one is when she is already climbing stairs into the podium in the marketplace. Meanwhile, in the book, the narrative is much more detailed, telling about the distance between the prison and the marketplace and the schoolboys viewing the judgment scene. Other than the exposition, it also just merely presents the climax part, both on the novel and the film, where Arthur reveals that he is the father of Pearl. In the film, Arthur only says dialogue such as "I love her," "I am the husband of her," and "I am the father of Pearl." Meanwhile, in the book, it explains more with Arthur's action, like Arthur ripping his robe to show the letter A in his chest. This affects the loss of magical sparks that is supposed to be given, like in the book, because the film doesn't catch that magical things. With all of those arguments above, it can be concluded that the Scarlet Letter film is similar to what Chapman describes as the film narratives being adaptation from a book. By showing much more additions that over-identifying, it illustrates the change to assert the narrative within the book version decently. Okay, that's all from me. Here are the references that I use for analyzing the comparison. I apologize if there is any mistakes made. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.